Just talk about kind of what you saw from Nick. Obviously he didn't get a lot of practice time last week.
Yeah, Nick was tough. Nick's a tough kid. I expected him to be able to give it a go. And he didn't get a lot of reps last week in practice, so there was some concern there. But he did a good job. Obviously, we didn't throw the ball very much. But the game was a weird, game kind of for us. And it was the first half, and we weren't out there much, and never really kind of got much rhythm. And yet we were still ahead. But when he had to make the throws, we did. The big one to Sammy was big. And I thought, what he did well was just, lead the team, manage the team. He made runs when he needed to. We didn't turn the ball over. Overall, I was really pleased with him because, not getting really any reps Tuesday, Wednesday, limited on Thursday, to go out and play the way he did, just lead the guys, I thought that was a good job.
You bring a guy in like Jeremy Johnson, you're your sideline right before the snap. Yep. How much of an advantage is that at times you guys are able to get that before snap?
Well, I thought Jeremy did a good job. I was really proud of Jeremy because he prepared last week to be the starter. And obviously there was more package-wise to play. There were certain things we ended up not doing because, like I said, it was a weird game the way things unfolded. And then to come in cold and the first time you're in, throw a 15-yard pass is not an easy thing to do. And so I think that is good. The good thing about it is, when we put one of those guys in there, he can throw it. When we put one of them in there, he can run it. Obviously they have the things they do better than the others, but it's not like you put in this guy and it's only going to be this, and you put in this guy and it's only going to be this. And so I was really proud of the way Jeremy prepared, and to have not played the whole first half, he wasn't down. And when he got his chance to start the third quarter, he was a big part of that drive that really put some separation there for us to start the second half.
Can you kind of elaborate on what you mean by a weird game?
Well, the way they took all that time to start the game, but then our defense gets a turnover. I think we ran 20 plays in the first half, had 5-6 minutes time of possession, we had 14-3. Those things don't happen that often, and so when you go into halftime to make adjustments and things, you don't have as much information as you normally have. You haven't ran as many plays, you haven't been on the field as much. We knew at halftime we were going to have to be very efficient with our possessions. In other words, we got to get points. When we get the ball, we can't mess around. We got to go get points because at this pace, we don't know how many we'll get. And we were able to do that, I think, for the most part. And then, of course, our defense did what they normally do and bowed up in the red zone and got turnovers and stops.
At the end of the half there, you guys had about 2:40 left and ran it, didn't quite go to the air as much. Was that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was two things. One, I think it was 2:40 or something. We had 2 of our timeouts at least, and we're thinking, first of all, you're on the 1 foot line. We just got a big momentum play. We wanted to get it off the goal line, and we were able to do that in 2 or 3 plays. We got a first down, and then, the way that unfolded, we ran the ball to do it. The clock was already down pretty low, and at that point, if we'd have got an explosive play or something to get us going, we were ready to go into 2-minute mode. But getting it off the goal line was the first priority. And then at that point, we were looking at, it was between a minute to a minute 15 maybe. And it was just kind of one of those, they had all 3 timeouts. And if you start throwing the ball too quick and you punt it, you give them a short field, they could go into the halftime with momentum. At that point, with them having the ball the whole first half, you're thinking, we're up 14-3, we're going to get the ball to start the second half. Let's make sure it's at least 14-3 going into halftime. And fortunately, it worked out. And then, we were able to start the second half with a touchdown and go up 21-3.
So why the change in thought process compared to Texas A&M in that regard?
Oh, as far as not taking a shot?
Yeah.
Oh, no reason. You go with the feel of the game. The first thought we did off the goal line, we did. I think, I don't know, they got 3 points. Texas A&M was a little different, probably. But we always have our package of plays we'll run down there like we would. And, every game's different. Just feel-wise, that's what we decided to go with. And we were fully prepared once we got around the 15, 20-yard line to take off and try to go score. And just the way that drive unfolded, the clock was going down, and it just didn't happen that way.
Rhett, talk about the decision to run as often as much as you did in that game relative to the passing.
Well, we knew going in it was going to be a physical game. They like to run it. Obviously we like to run it. I thought, like I said, it was an interesting game the way it unfolded because we're up 14-3 with 20 plays, and the next thing you know, we're up 28-3, and we hadn't had to throw it that much. They knew we were going to run it, but we were being successful doing that. And I thought our guys did a really good job of being the more physical team up front again this week, which was important for us. And then at that point, there's just no need to really air it out. We had plenty of things we felt good about in the passing game. Even looking back, you're still thinking, why not? But I'd like to think that when we went up 28-3, if they hadn't returned the kickoff, momentum was definitely in our favor. You don't want to do anything to give them momentum. And at that point, we'd been running the ball pretty effectively. Hadn't really been stopped much unless we were stopping ourselves. So, like I said, when you're being successful with it, you don't want to really stop.
Is that the same philosophy sticking with Tre?
Yeah, Tre was odd hand. Obviously Cam played less than he normally does, and even Tre got less touches. And some of the other things too now are, like I said, Nick didn't get a lot of reps during the week, so you're wanting to do things that he got reps at, feels comfortable with, or things that we've done a lot of. But yeah, Tre was. I didn't realize he carried it 32 times till after the game, but. What can I say? The guy gets stronger as the game goes on. He gets stronger as the season goes on. I will say this. Cam's got over 500 yards, I think, on the year. Tim's done a great job of keeping those guys fresh to this point of the season because up until the last game or two, they've been very balanced. Tre's had a little more of the carries, but it's been more balanced. Other than maybe the last drive that we scored on, we started noticing he was getting a little worn down. But, like I said, we also only ran 55 plays, so all our guys weren't in there as much as they normally are.
What do you see at Tennessee?
They're a team that plays really good at home. They've got a huge defensive line. They got one of the better linebackers in our league. He's one of the top 1 or 2s in tackles, I think. I know a couple of the backing guys just from being in recruiting. They're athletic kids, or a couple of them are young, but they're athletic. But like I said, at home, they played pretty good. They beat South Carolina the last time they were at home. Before that, I think they had Georgia pretty much on the ropes and gave it away maybe in overtime. So, and talent-wise, they got a lot of good talent. Good athletic guys. So, it'll be interesting to see. We're going there to play at 11, in the morning, see how our guys respond. But so far, they've responded to everything we've put in front of them, and this hopefully will be no different. It's a road test against a traditionally really good team that plays really good at home.
What was the trip home like for you? Did you get to see people you haven't seen a lot of?
Yeah, it's. When you go on those things, you don't get to see people that much. But yeah, having a lot of friends and family there. Got to see a couple briefly Friday night at the hotel and a couple after the game on Saturday. And that's always good. You going home, you want to put your best foot forward mainly, because you got a lot of pride in Auburn and what we're trying to do here and build here. And you want to show that in front of people that, you know a lot of them. So, and it's always good when you win and you fly home and you road win and all that. And, like I said, we knew it'd be tough. They had 2 weeks off. They like to be physical, and at the end of the day, our guys found a way to win and played solid.
Rhett, Patrick really dressed out this game
Yep.
first time 3-4 weeks, but I don't know how many reps he ended up getting at right tackle. Is that position open in a competition now, or has Avery locked that down?
Well, yeah, Pat got a little bit in there at the end, and he was ready to go if we needed him at any point in time. We feel good about both those guys. Last 3 games, Avery started. We've been playing well. Now Pat's back, and we feel perfectly fine with Pat in there, but at the same time, we've been playing pretty well with Avery in there, so that could be a little bit of a week-to-week deal. But we let those guys get split reps in practice each week, and they're both ready to play. And I don't see us changing a whole lot going forward.
It looked like your guards had a really good game, and center there was some good holes for trying to run through.
Yeah, the best thing I did, it was very evident they were bringing. And after the first couple drives, they're putting more guys down there than you can block, and so naturally you got to throw the football. And like I said, we were prepared to do that. But our front 5 offensive linemen were getting so much good movement on their defensive linemen and driving them back that our backs were able to make that extra guy that we can't block miss on a lot of occasions. And that's just a testament to Coach Grimes and those guys up front getting movement. That's what we preach. And they were able to move the down guys to where, even if you sometimes don't get to a linebacker when the defensive lineman's in his lap, it makes it tough. And it gives that back more time to press it and make cuts. And, of course, Tre was running really well. Nick, when he pulled it, was making plays as usual. And, later in the game, you could tell we were getting to that point where if it was a tight game, we were going to be throwing the football. But the way the game dictated, we were still able to be, somewhat successful with what was going on. But they did a good job internally.
Physical that game was, and it had one fumble, but you fall on it. Good to see, not see the turnovers pop up.
Yeah, it was great. I think this is 4 games in a row now that I was talking with Coach Horton that our backs have not fumbled the football, our running backs. And that's big. You know, we've started cleaning that up. You know, Nick's fumble, believe it or not, this was one of his better ball security games. He did a great job with his fakes and things without the ball. He had the ball locked up. I mean, you just got to hold on football. I think the guy's helmet hit his elbow. You got to hold on the ball. That could have been pivotal. I mean, if they get that, it's an 11-point game. All the momentum had switched in their favor, and now we just get a 30-something yard run and fumble it back. You know, fortunately, Trevon Reed went diving in there and kind of kept it alive. And you know, to the kid's credit, Nick got it back. Probably because he didn't want to come off the sidelines without it. But that would have been bad if we don't get it. It could be a different situation right now. But he got it back. We were able to go down and finish the drive. And you know, I think that was the difference in the game. When we got in the red zone, I think we were 4 for 4. We stopped them 3 or 4 times in the red zone, and then you know they had 3 turnovers, we didn't. In a game that, at least if you look at the stat sheet, is pretty balanced. Other than they had a lot more plays, I think that was the difference.
Right, when you're already a team that has, I think, the fewest pass attempts in the SEC, and you have a week where you have the fewest pass attempts in like 30 years in the program or something. Beyond Sammy, how do you try to develop the receivers consistently when you do it so little, and then you have a week where you only attempt 9 passes?
Now, what did you say at the beginning when you're 0-8?
When you're when you have the fewest pass attempts, I believe, in the SEC.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So when you're already passing so little, how do you try to develop the receivers consistently? I mean, they're just not
Well, we
getting-
throw the ball like crazy in practice. I mean, I'll make it very clear, we have no problem throwing it. And we got belief in both our guys to throw it and to catch it. I mean, we've had different receivers from Quan Bray to Ricardo Lewis to Trevon Reed to Marcus Davis step up in games. I got no problem throwing it to people other than Sammy either. He just happens to be a guy right now that is leading the country in yards per catch. And you know, when he gets singled up, he's pretty good. Like I said, it was a weird game. I mean, to only attempt 9 passes is not normal for anybody. And it's just kind of weird the way it unfolded. But we work on it every week. We've got plenty of what we would call bullets or plays that we can throw the football and make plays other than just, you know, bubble screens. We got plenty of things we can do each week. And each game's different. You know, whether it's they play you differently than you expected, which they did not. I mean, they played us how we thought they would, but just the way they unfold. And we know, I say it every week, but just trust me, we know it's going to happen in a game where we're going to have to win the game throwing the football like we did at Mississippi State. And when that happens, I feel confident our guys will be able to do it.
Real quick, a lot of short passes right to the line of scrimmage. I mean, was that by design? Was that something?
That was more because of the way they were playing us. I mean, they're bringing safeties down and squeezing their linebackers in. They're giving you bubble screens. You know, they're giving you little hitches. They're giving you those things. And that was just kind of what happened. I mean, like I said, when it goes back to it, we get the ball, we drive 8 or 9 plays to start the game, having a good little drive, and then we mess up ourselves with a penalty, so we stall. Well, the next thing we know, our defense gets a fumble, and we score in 2 plays. Okay, well then I don't remember what happened there, but we get the ball, they kick an onside kick. You know, well, we score in like 3 plays. So there really hadn't been a lot of opportunities to throw the ball, especially since you're running it and you're getting 10 yards a clip. And then we start the second half, and we have a bubble screen, we hit a play action pass, we hit 2 or 3 passes, we score. And then we hit the long pass, and it's 28-3 at this point, and you know, you don't think we've only thrown it 7 or 8 times, you just think we're up 28-3, and when we have thrown it, it's worked, when we've ran it, it's worked. So, and then at that point, you're up so much, it's kind of, let's keep that defense off the field because they were on it the whole first half. So, but the bubble screens and those things was more because, hey, they're bringing those linebackers in to do everything they can to stop the run. We got to get out on the perimeter, keep them honest.
Rhett, could you just talk about where this team offensively from Washington State till now, how far it's coming?
Yeah, I think a long ways. You know, the first thing is just in between the years, confidence-wise. Not only do I think guys individually are believing in themselves more, but they believe in each other more. You know, it helped, I think, that even Washington State was a tight game, but then right after that, I think game 3 we played Mississippi State. That one was pretty big. And then the way we finished the second half against LSU, it gave our guys some confidence that we can do some good things. And then over time, as coaches, we've been able to find out what we're good at, or what our players are good at, and they're feeling good about what we do. And we've made a lot of strides each week since Washington State. There's no question. At the same time, you know, it's going to get tougher. And so we're going to have to continue to develop certain areas maybe that are underdeveloped and, you know, continue to try to do what we're good at and put guys in position to do what they're good at and be successful. But, you know, yeah, I've been pleased with the progress week to week overall offensively.